Right now, we just want to talk about this idea that there is this part of ourselves that is able to create magic. You all know that part of yourself. You guys have had coincidences and synchronicities where the right person showed up at the right time, where the right thing happened at the exact right moment. Maybe joining this course was one of those. Okay, there is magic in this life. All right, so reality bending. Okay, so welcome into this. You see what's happening. We've now laid the groundwork. We know what's in store for each man. We're going to kind of roll up our sleeves a little bit and we're going to get to work. And I want to share with you that this notion of reality bending really is an art. You know, I know Steve Jobs kind of made it famous. You guys might have heard that term before, that Steve Jobs from Apple was bending reality with the way that he ran his business. I read his autobiography. I studied Steve Jobs, like just amazing freaking visionary. And it hit me years back that a lot of the work that I was doing here in the world of growth and transformation was reality bending, meaning that someone would come to me, they'd want a series of circumstances in their lives, and I'd help them make it happen faster than they would have by themselves. Ooh, reality bending. Okay, so it's a way that we can look at this process of transformation, all right? And it really is an art. And there's a couple of components to it that are key. Number one, what we want to do in these 6 weeks is build fortitude and resilience. Okay, a lot of you guys mentioned it in the shares, like, all right, like I've done stuff, I've given up. I've done stuff, I've given up. It's a roller coaster ride. Like we're always on this roller coaster ride. You've had the peak and then you go in the valley. You've had the peak, you go in the valley. We're going to talk about that a lot in this course. And what my goal is to have your line be going up like this. And when peaks or valleys happen, you can come back faster to going further up. That's where a lot of this happens. You heard me talk about the magician, okay, this archetype of the magician. And you're going to listen to that meditation in the morning. You're going to listen to it in the evening. And we're just going to play. For right now, we just want to talk about this idea that there is this part of ourselves that is able to create magic. You all know that part of yourself. You guys have had coincidences and synchronicities where the right person showed up at the right time, where the right thing happened at the exact right moment. Maybe joining this course was one of those. Okay, there is magic in this life. The intellectual part of ourselves, the cognitive, analytical, scientific-minded part of ourselves doesn't love to believe it or become aware of it. And that's okay, all right? That part of ourselves is amazing. But we have to recognize that there are these different lenses and these different parts of our mind that are in play. We're going to play with this magician part, okay, in this program. And you're just going to have to trust that there's some magic that happens when we do that. And then third, we're going to accomplish some big, even unattainable goals in a short period of time. Okay, a lot of you are just going to achieve goals. We heard Linus talking about going from 210 to 208. Money's going to be made. Projects are going to come online. I'm going to push you really hard, okay, in these 6 weeks to try to hit a finish line. All right. And when we do these things together, fast, effective, and life-changing transformations happen. You know, the things that you can expect, you know, kind of like just like physically, energetically, are big increases in your physical energy levels. All right. So one of the frameworks that I work very closely with, and you'll hear me talk about this in the program, I don't throw a lot of frameworks at you, but in week one, I'm going to a little bit, is that there's these 4 different aspects of self. Okay. And I just mentioned one of them, the cognitive, intellectual, analytical, science-minded, very strong in most modern men, right? Like we all understand science and, you know, the cognitive nature and the analytical mind. This is a part of ourselves that we'll play with. The second part of ourselves is the emotions, the feelings. Okay, it's different. It fires different neurons in our brain than the cognitive part does. Okay, if you've ever studied the brain, we're going to talk about that next week, how neurons fire in the brain. But the emotions are key. The third part is the physical body. And this is where most of us, most modern men, let go, meaning that we don't really focus on the health and the vitality of this physical encasement that is the gift of God that we're walking around this planet. But in this program, we're going to take it on starting right here. Because let me just share a little secret with you guys. The better that you are physically, the more on fire that you are in this body, the more energy that you have here, the more you can do in all those other areas. Okay? The more you can do with your career and the change that you want to make, and you want to attract a partner or you want to make more money. Here. Start with this body. Get this thing freaking rocking. Okay. It's huge. This is where, you know, I mean, I've just done this for so long. This is just and I'm going to give you some basic stuff. Okay. Basic stuff to do. And it's going to have a big dividend. All right. And then the fourth part of self is the spirit, where we go a little bit into spirituality in this program. And the way that I define it is, just that notion that there's something greater than just ourselves, right? Like just that there's something else. We don't have to go any deeper into that right now, right? But the notion that, there is something greater that connects us, that binds us, whatever your version of God is, or spirituality, or the universe, or connection, right? But we want to look at that and understand it cognitively, that there's these different aspects of self, and we're going to play with them in a very particular way in these 6 weeks. Okay. I'm going to be instructing you guys to do things that is vetted from years of doing this that may not make sense. It may cause discomfort. You may not like it. Okay. I'm asking you to trust the process. All right. Because it's been vetted. Speaking of that, how to absorb every ounce of wisdom from this process, trust it. It's vetted. It works. I was ahead of myself. Right. But it really is. Okay. That's why you see guys come back. That doesn't always happen in a personal growth thing, right? Guy just took it, he finished 2 weeks ago. He's back in the program, right? Like that happens because it works. And, we're working at a foundational level. Number 2 is show up for yourself and for your brothers. You guys will get an email from me after this meeting is over with follow-up, links to the assignments, links to the platform that will have the recording. And you'll be meeting your triad or quad. Some of you might be in a quad where there's 4 of you. Okay, this is really, really important. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. And then diving into the discomfort when it appears. We do not run away from uncomfortable things, thoughts, feelings here. We go into them here. Okay, this isn't just a feel-good place. We're going to get to the root of some shit. All right, and when it comes up, I want you to tell me, I want you to tell your brothers, let's just have it out. In that sense, there's some therapy that happens in this process. Okay. This is therapeutic to have a safe place to actually process information that comes up. Let it be that for you. It's okay. All right. So let me just talk about the outline really quick. So week 1, we're going to set the foundation and we're going to talk about how to create predictable success. And I love that idea, guys. The idea that we can create a series of circumstances in our future that's predictably successful. Who wouldn't want that? I want it. I want to be able to predict my future, in all these different domains in my life. Okay. So I'm going to give you a magic tool tonight. Okay. A big master practice for starting to create predictable success. And it'll make sense when we cover it in a moment. Building resilience is next week. Okay. Really want to talk about that. How are we going to build resilience? How are we going to bounce back? How are we going to literally catch ourselves when we're even at the slightest bit falling down? And shift that mindset in the moment to get ourselves back on track. Huge, huge work. A lot of tools for that, right? This, by the way, is what 99.999% of the personal growth and development industry is. All mindset stuff, just catching yourself in the moment and shit. Nothing wrong with it. It's got to be addressed, but it's got to be addressed in the context of a larger story, a larger narrative. Okay. And that's why this works so well, because we're dealing with mindset. We're going to deal with your in the moment attitudes, but we're going to do it in the context of a larger game plan. All right. Week 3 is where we're really going to start this 1 month project, your project. A lot of you will begin it already. Some of you will already know what your project is, what you're going to be doing, but officially the 3rd week is where we really put our head down and we're taking on this project. Okay. You're going to work on something, for the last 4 weeks of this, if not the whole time. Okay. And just depends on where each one of you is at. Week 4, we're going to get into some of the emotions here. We're going to talk about the opening of the great big heart, right? Easy for some, not so easy for others, but it would be ridiculous not to say that healing work doesn't happen in this process. Okay. Things need to be healed here. The truth is, guys, is that, I just ran through a program. Some of you guys were in the last time we had 18 guys in that program. I would say half of the guys in that program, really went through some stuff that was brought up around, well, why does this pattern exist? Right? Why does this happen? Right? You guys saw some of the testimonial reels. One of my favorite one was from AJ, and AJ was a corporate guy, came from an Indian family, had left the corporate world and was in this nomad's land of well, my wife doesn't think I have a real job. She doesn't really kind of trust me any longer. My whole family thinks that, I don't know what I'm doing, and yet he actually was onto something else, and he just needed to find the belief in himself, right? And he needed to heal what others thought about him. He was living a narrative of other people. And in the process, he actually got to be himself for a freaking minute. And it happened on a call, by the way. I don't know if it happened on a live call, but you were on it, live coaching 101. And the guy just had this light bulb. It's like, no, actually, like, I can do this. This is going to be my whole life. And this is real. And boom, guy's off and running. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's an aha moment. Okay, that can happen for you here in this process. And a lot of it will happen from the opening of that great big heart. Week 5, structures and systems. This is a big hit in the last one. Like, all right, we're actually like got our shit together. We're rocking. By week 5, you guys are going to feel freaking amazing. I'm going to give you a training on structures and systems that can help you organize your life in a bunch of different ways. And even for the guys that were in the last one, what I'm going to be doing is a little bit different this time. It's actually going to be a little more deep dive. Okay. And this is going to be really, really powerful training. A lot of guys want this from me. I'm really good at systematizing my life. I actually have like several different things that I do. I have a kid at home. I mean, I balance a lot of different things, and I also have a lot of free time. And so I want to be able to give the structures and systems that I know work. And by week 5, we're going to be ready to do that. And then in week 6, we're going to just go deeper into what happened here, the accountability and the brotherhood. This is the thing that's been missing. I told each one of you on our one-on-one call that the magic of this program happens in the breakouts, in 2 sets of breakouts. Number 1, in the breakouts on the calls themselves. Now, we're not going to really do one tonight because we have a long call, but in the breakout sessions and in your triads or quads. So you guys are making magic here. Okay. And we can't forget that. That's why guys come back, because it's like, once you get it, once you actually get how powerful community is, like real community, you can't go back. It just sucks not having it. That's why I'm always going to do this, because I have you guys, I have you guys, and like you have me now, and we have each other. And that is huge. And it's what's been missing.